very saddening and pathetic that as a country, though we know very well that we have on record 1,014 land borders gazetted, which the government is aware of, and yet they are unmanned. We have no security apparatuses out there. So it's just a free walk-in, walk-out situation. These same border posts are the exact spots through which the Boko Haram people come in, through which the bandits in Zamfara come in, through which those who are mining, like we hear, also come in and go out. The only effective border police in this country, Nigeria, is the one down south, the Badagry-Lagos border. Apart from that, every other border up north from Sokoto to Maiduguri is completely porous, just walk in, walk out. So I am actually in agreement with the Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria that said 1 million metric tons. And I'll tell you, that's just been very conservative. I've personally seen this activity taking place, where the people on bike carry 3 bags of rice each, and the bike men get paid 1,500 per delivery. The trucks just park a few kilometers away from the point of entry, and once the trucks are filled with 600 bags, which is what makes one truck, off they go into main town. And there is a warehouse usually where such bags of rice will be uploaded into, and then they are rebagged into brand new bags with known covers that Nigerians are used to, and taken to the market for final sale. So you will just be under the impression that it's local rice, but those are imported rice.
Very, very worrying, comments you're making here, because I'm trying to think about the authorities like the customs who are supposed to check this. You think more should be done to strengthen such authorities?
In my opinion, the government is trying by coming up with very good policies. But where we have a challenge is the fact that they do not communicate well enough with the agencies who are supposed to be enforcing them or implementing them. For example, if the customs people are aware that tomato and rice have been banned from importation via land borders, everything to go through the sea in Lagos, then there has to be no room for anybody bringing in these commodities via the land borders. But the Nigerian factor, quote unquote, as we say, probably takes place where these things come in. Because I will not imagine that up to 500 or 300 bike men moving 3 bags of rice each along the border post will be going on a daily basis, and the security police are not aware. I very much doubt that. But if you are there where these things are happening, you won't see them in sight. So it gives you the only impression that this is an organized system where somebody somewhere must be aware of people coming in and out and doing nothing about it. So if things have not changed hands, I don't think these things will be happening.
All right, but then let's look at attempts by the government to be self-sufficient with rice production. How does instances like this, because you mentioned earlier that some of these bags that are smuggled into the country are rebagged, how does this affect our self-sufficiency in rice production?
Our self-sufficiency in rice production is on course. Apart from the fact that we are dealing with climate change concerning rainfall, our production system is very much on course. For this year, again, unfortunately, NIMET has informed us that we're going to be having late onset of rain and early cessation of the rain. That means we really need to be smart if we want to make any success in agriculture this year. And from the NIMET report, farmers have been advised to delay planting so that they won't need to plant twice. So if we can, first and foremost, get NIMET to be very accurate with their predictions in terms of rainfall on a yearly basis, it will help farmers to continue to plant effectively and get a good yield. Because from our results and studies, it shows that if we apply the NIMET predictions very well to our farming operations, we can at least get 30% yield increase in everything we do. But then, if we keep doing this and the borders are porous, no control, it's going to really jeopardize all our efforts to be self-sufficient in rice. Because the smugglers know that if you become effective in your production and your rice is demanded locally, there will be no room for the rest. So before you get very well organized, you just land their own product very cheaply, rebag it, and bring it to the market at prices lower than what you end up producing yours. So it's really a problem. The government must police the borders more effectively than they're doing right now. It's affecting not just human traffic, it's affecting the commodities and trade sector. Manufacturers in Nigeria are suffering from this.
All right, but some people will also say that these warnings were given out last year as well. In 2018, we also saw warnings come out from these authorities as well, and then the flooding still happened and it affected rice outputs in the country. But how much is this information given monitored to, and how it trickles down to the farmers, in the rural communities? Because if they don't get this information, they will still plant in the normal planting seasons, and then you'll still be affected by floods coming down the months.
If I were to be the agriculture minister, for example, and NIMET make this kind of pronouncement, I would simply call every state agriculture commissioner to a meeting and give them instructions to say, look, gentlemen and ladies, we have to ensure that our farmers get this information and follow the instructions to the letter. They will in turn have to engage the agri-development project where the extension arm of the agri-ministries lie and engage with all farmers within the extension block areas. That way the information will trickle down. But I think once the NIMET office announces it in Abuja and there's a heavy press conference around it, that's it. It doesn't go down because the farmers will not be rushing to plant out the very first rain they observe. Right now, the temperature in the last 3 weeks to 4 weeks has hovered around 36 to 39, sometimes 41, 42 degrees. Only in this week that the first rains came up in the north central region of the country. And from what NIMET is saying, it's still not yet a good time to plant. We still need to wait for the second or third rain to be sure that the rains have really started before the farmers can plant, since they're all depending on rain-fed agriculture. So if this is not happening, we have to start thinking of irrigation as alternative to ensure that our agricultural system goes on. Right now, we are bombarded with porous borders. We're bombarded with a lot of insecurity in the country. The farmers are leaving the farm. So we are heading gradually to a food crisis without knowing it. In the next 2-3 years, if this continues, we might have food shortages, and that will probably lead to some subtle famine, higher prices of food, and the situation will be really serious.